What's going on, fellas? It's Cager, and I'm back with another video. Today, we're going to be talking about what to expect from the Nintendo Direct tomorrow. So, just to clarify, this video is basically like general Switch stuff. I'm going to have another video with specific things related to Smash Ultimate because I think we're going to hear about DLC. So, I'm going to have a separate video about that. So, if you want to just hear about the Smash stuff, you can click in the top right corner. I'll put a card there. Or if you want to watch both videos, I'll have it in the end screen. So, this is just the basic Switch games, okay? So we have that clarified. Alright guys, let's get into this. So first, I want to talk about what we know. And to start with that, we know there's going to be a lot of info on Fire Emblem Three Houses. They actually said that in the tweet. They clarified that this Direct would contain information about upcoming Switch games, including the new Fire Emblem game. So I think we're going to get a release date. I think that this game is going to come out near the end of May or beginning of June, because usually when Nintendo says that a game's coming out in the spring, it's usually the last week of May or the first week of June. So I think they're going to choose a time around there. I think we're going to learn some more information just about the story of the game, about like new features in it compared to different Fire Emblems. I haven't played like a ton of Fire Emblem games. I'm like sort of like a casual fan, so it does interest me. I'm definitely not like overly hyped about it though. Now going into other games that I want to talk about, definitely Animal Crossing. I think we're going to hear a lot more info about this too. Because we really haven't heard anything except the teaser. So this would be the perfect time to give us like a real trailer for Animal Crossing 2019. I think we're going to get a release date. I think it's going to be later in the year, probably around holiday, being like late November, early December, kind of around when Smash Ultimate was. I think that's going to be Nintendo's big holiday game of this year because Animal Crossing does particularly well on handheld systems, and the Switch is a hybrid, so I think it's going to do a lot better on the Switch than it ever would have if it was released on the Wii U. Now, the Wii U did technically have an Animal Crossing game, but yeah, that game flopped. Amiibo Festival, yeah. Let's not talk about that one. But yeah, I think this game is going to be a very successful game. Nintendo's going to want to keep it at Holiday 2019. Now, after this, there's really nothing else we know for sure. Now, these are the two games that I think are going to be in the Direct for sure because we already know about them. But as for everything else, we really don't know. Now, this is all going to be like speculative stuff. Some of it's based off of evidence, and others stuff really isn't. So there's also been a lot of rumors going around, so I'm going to be talking about that too. But the first thing I'd like to discuss here is Metroid Prime specifically. So Metroid Prime 4, we know that that game has been delayed because there were issues in developing it. They decided to cancel the whole thing and start from scratch. So I don't think we're going to be seeing anything about Metroid Prime 4, but instead I think we're going to get Metroid Prime Trilogy being released on the Switch like sometime this year to hold us over. So I think they're gonna have an HD like remaster of the Metroid Prime trilogy, and that covers the first 3 games of the Metroid Prime series, which is really exciting to me because I never got to play those games, and I could go back. I have a GameCube from when I was a lot younger, and I could go back and I could play the old Metroid Prime games, but I'd much rather play them in HD on my Switch. And if that's going to be the case, I'm really excited for that because I've always wanted to get into Metroid Prime. So then I can play those games in preparation for the 4th one. So that would be really cool if they released that. Now, another rumor that's going around is that there's going to be a 2D Zelda on the Switch. And I think it's a possibility. I wouldn't say it's extremely likely due to the success of Breath of the Wild over a lot of the other recent Zelda games. Breath of the Wild was such a huge success. I think they're going to put most of their resources into making a sequel for that game. Having another like open world thing. If they want to do like a smaller, like lower budget project in the middle, that would be 2D. I think it would be another multiplayer Zelda game, something like Triforce Heroes on the 3DS or the classic Four Swords, and they could just do something like that with the Switch, maybe like a little bit more in depth, but at the same time nowhere near the scope of a 3D Zelda. I think that's the most likely for 2D that we could see, something multiplayer like that. And for the Switch with online and local, I think that that would be a great experience. So I'd be happy for that game. I really wouldn't mind at all if it was just another multiplayer thing, but definitely let me know what you guys think about that, because I know a lot of people prefer 2D Zeldas over 3D Zeldas. I'm just not one of them. Alright, so another rumor we have is Mario Maker 2 for the Switch, and I think this one is a very, very likely rumor, because Mario Maker is just really popular. It was like very successful on the Wii U, even though that was a failing console, but that was a really big streaming game, and now that Nintendo's like back up in it with the Switch, I think they're getting a little bit more modern in terms of like their thoughts, like how they view like streaming and YouTube and that kind of stuff. Recently they made it so YouTubers don't have to worry anymore about getting copyright claimed for Nintendo videos, which really helped me out and a ton of other people who make videos on Nintendo stuff. So I think they really want to push this YouTube, they want to push the streaming, and this is a great streaming game. So I think they are going to make Mario Maker on the Switch. It's a little bit weird how it's going to work, since we don't really have 2 screens anymore. So I'm kind of interested to see how they pull that one off, but I think we are definitely getting this game. If it's not tomorrow, I think it is going to be some point soon, but I think it's probably going to be tomorrow. And I think it's going to be releasing either later this year, like maybe near holiday, or perhaps even next year, but probably this year, probably more towards the end of the year this year, like around when Animal Crossing, I presume, will be released. Now we're going on to some like less likely stuff. So these are just some like ideas that I have. Now I noticed there was a tweet like a couple of weeks ago I saw that held a comment from an interview where Nintendo has at least one game that they haven't revealed yet at all, and this could be the 2D Zelda or the Mario Maker 2, but I think it might be something else. They have at least one game that fans are going to be very pleasantly surprised by, and I think that one of the options right here is a Mario Kart. I think that a new Mario Kart could definitely be this game that they're referring to, because Mario Kart's something that like everybody enjoys, and they said like something our fans will be pleased by, like something so general. Like what's something that like every Nintendo fan likes? Like Smash, Mario Kart, like there's not really too many other things. So I think definitely Mario Kart 9 could be a possibility. And even though we had 8 Deluxe released about 2 years ago, I think if they were to have a new Mario Kart game at the end of this year, so like around holiday, that would be a good time to release that, because it's almost been 3 whole years then, or I guess 2.5, because I think it was in May actually that 8 Deluxe was released. But still, that's 2.5 year gap, and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe was released about 3 years after 8. I think that's how it works. So that means we haven't had like a completely new Mario Kart game in about 5 years. So I think it's about time. I think that they're going to put that on the Switch in November, December, somewhere around there, or there is an alternative, and I think they could just completely change it. Maybe they decided they're done with Mario Kart. After 8, like that's why they remade that, because that's it, that's the last Mario Kart. Now it is Nintendo Kart, and they have all Nintendo characters like with Smash. And the reason I think this is somewhat of a possibility is because Mario Kart 8 featured a lot of other Nintendo characters as DLC. Like you had like Link, you had the Animal Crossing people, and with the amiibos you had the Mii costumes of like different characters that were outside of the Mario universe. So I think it's a possibility that we get Nintendo Kart instead, but I think the more likely thing is that we're going to get Mario Kart 9 at the end of 2019. Now another alternative for this is that the game they're referring to is Pokemon of this year, because that's something that a lot of people have been talking about for a long time in the past, because we're really excited to have a new Pokemon game on the Switch, like main storyline Pokemon game on the Switch in full HD. No, I'm not talking about Let's Go. I'm talking about a real serious game, like with the fundamental mechanics of every game prior to that. And we know that that is a thing. We know Gen 8 is going to be coming on the Switch this year. We already have that confirmed, but I think we might get shown it. Now, usually when Pokemon games are announced, they're on their own. They're not like in a Nintendo Direct with other games. So that's the only thing that makes you think that this is unlikely. I think that's going to be revealed on its own, but I do think there is a chance that it will be shown off tomorrow. So that's definitely something to keep in mind. Now, switching gears, we're going to be talking about third-party stuff. So here we have Persona 5R Switch port. Now, I think this is definitely going to happen because Joker's in Smash now. I think we are going to get Persona 5R on the Switch as well as the PS4. And this is definitely big news. It's got me excited, the fact that it could come to the Switch. I think it's very likely because how in the past characters would only be added to Smash if they were featured on a Nintendo console. And while we have had Persona games on Nintendo platforms before, Joker has not ever appeared on a Nintendo platform. So it would be really interesting to see him in Persona 5R on the Switch. So I think that's definitely a possibility. I would probably pick up the game then and get into Persona then by playing it on the Switch. I think that would be a great choice to have that be on the Switch, and I think it's going to happen. I think it'll probably get shown off tomorrow, maybe with a little bit more info on Smash. But again, guys, I'm going to talk about that in the other video. So now I'm going to move on here from Persona. I think another third-party thing we could look out for is the Xbox Live announcement. So last week I made a video on this. I made a couple, actually. Xbox Live was announced to be featured on the Switch, which is really weird. So we don't really know anything about this so far. I'm assuming that it's going to be an app, and it'll just function like you could join parties or like send messages, maybe see like the Xbox dashboard. I'm not really sure everything with it. Like, I don't know exactly what the point is. I get it, like Microsoft and Nintendo have been really close lately, and if that's the thing, I think it's a good thing that it's going to be implemented on the Switch. I'm just not really sure exactly what we could expect yet. But I think if this is true, because we don't really know, we just heard a little bit of information on it that like wasn't necessarily supposed to be released to the public. But I think we could hear more about this tomorrow if that is the thing. And along with that, once again, guys, I think we're going to get something related to Smash. But again, click on the other video, and I will dive into that a lot deeper than here. But yeah, I think if that is happening, the Xbox Live Switch thing, I think that is going to be covered tomorrow. Now, the final thing I want to talk about in this video, guys, is a Nintendo Switch Online update, because Nintendo has acknowledged that a lot of its fans are not happy with the current state of the premium online service. They feel that there should be more features. If they're spending money, like, there should really be visible improvement. Now, from my experience, I've had a little bit of a better time online than on the Wii U, which was free online. But I don't think it's enough to justify this price tag. Like, it's not that much better. But Nintendo is listening, and I think they are going to come out with some more features for their online service. A lot of people have been talking about Super Nintendo games being featured on like their virtual console type thing with like integrated online. I haven't really played too many of the Nintendo games on there. So I'm not really sure exactly what kind of online features they have, but people are saying that they're going to put Super Nintendo games on there too. I think that's definitely a likely thing. I think we could see that tomorrow, but I don't know for sure, guys. But definitely let me know in the comments what you think about that. Comment to me, tell me about anything in this video that I covered. Do you think it's true? Do you think it's not? What do you think you're going to see tomorrow that I didn't talk about? Definitely let me know, guys. I like having a conversation. If you want to keep the conversation going, a good place to do that would be on my Discord server. You can find a link to that in the description below. There you could talk to other people who watch my videos. You could talk to me directly, and you could get notified on when new videos of mine are going to be released. So I hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, please leave a like. It really helps out. Thank you guys for the support. If you're new to the channel, definitely consider subscribing, because I have a ton of videos coming out about Smash Ultimate. Everything you need to know, from guides to speculation to all that stuff, all in one place. Definitely click that subscribe button. So, yep, that's it, guys. Hope you're having a wonderful day. This is Cager, and I will see you in the next one.